What if I told you that a country with no port, under Western sanctions, under EU sanctions, and fighting an active insurgency decide to build one of the biggest highways in Africa from its own pockets and completed the first 70% of the clearing in less than 40 days? Would you believe it? Probably not. But here's the thing, it happened. In December 2025, Burkina Faso cracked open a secret that most African presidents already know but don't want you to talk about. That 332-kilometer, 8-lane expressway didn't just connect two cities, it turned the entire development model upside down. Today, we are going to decode all of it. I'm going to show you all the scam, the money trial, and why a military president is bypassing the system. Stick with me because this one has a lot of layers to it. Let's look at the basics. Burkina Faso gained independence in 1960. Between 1960 and 2022, that's 62 years, right? The entire country has built roughly 3,000 kilometers of paved roads. To put in context, the distance from Accra to Cairo is about 4,400 kilometers, but Burkina Faso has barely enough paved roads to cover that single route, spread across an entire landlocked nation of about 23 million people. Was this an accident or was it a system? According to the African Development Bank's Infrastructure Index, Burkina Faso's score in 2024 was just 22 out of 100. After 6 decades of development, the question isn't why they are behind. The question is who benefited from keeping them or keeping it that way. Here's how the game works. It's not a conspiracy. It's not business as usual. A government wants to build a road. They put out a tender. A big contractor wins, usually one connected to the government or only the firm with enough capital to show up. Let's say the contract is worth about 100 million. The contractor takes their fee, maybe 20 to 30%, right off the top. They then subcontract the project to another firm. That firm takes their cut. Then they import equipment, triggering duties and logistic costs. By the time someone actually pours concrete, they're already working maybe 40 cents every dollar. The World Bank and African Development Bank have documented this for years. The EITI estimates that Burkina Faso alone lost about 4.9 billion through illicit financial flows in its gold sector over a single decade. It wasn't stolen in one big haste. It leaked out slowly, systematically, and legally. When the president Ibrahim Traoré announced he wanted to build a highway between Ouagadougou and Boubou Dialouso, the response was predictable. Private contractors quoted him 3,000 billion CFA francs. That's roughly 5 billion for one road. Traoré didn't negotiate. He went around the system. He created Fasomi, which translates to our Burkina or Burkina by our source. He acquired 204 heavy machines, bulldozers, excavators, dump trucks. Then he did something that surprised everyone. He trained young Burkinabe men and women to operate them. Not experts flown in from abroad, but local youths. He pointed them at the 332 kilometers of land and said, build. Where did the money actually come from? Gold. Now, in 2023, Burkina Faso produced 57 tons of gold, making them a top 5 producer in Africa. But for years, that money disappeared. Traoré began nationalizing assets through a state vehicle called SONAPS by abbreviation. State-controlled gold collection hit 11 tons in just the first quarter of 2025. That gold is now going into the national budget, and the budget is going into asphalt. Now, on December 15, 2025, construction launched. 40 days later, 232 kilometers has been cleared. That is 70% of the route in just over a month. The total budget, $357 million, compared to that, which is $5 billion the contractors wanted. It's like a builder quoting you $3 million to fix your kitchen and you doing it yourself for about $350,000. Now, speed isn't everything. Critics will ask, will the quality hold? Is there oversight? These are fair questions, to be honest, but we have to compare it to the baseline. The old model had oversight on paper, and yet it took 62 years to build what this new model is attempting to in just 1 year. Burkina Faso is testing a theory. What happens when the gold, machines, and the youth all stay in the house? I want to leave you with this. If your government announced tomorrow they were cutting out foreign contractors and training your local youth to build your own highways, would you trust them? Would you really trust them? The gap between doubt and trust is where African development is stuck. Filling that gap isn't just a job for the government, it's a conversation for us all. If this video has been interesting to you and if you found it useful, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share it with ones you see that need this information, and I'll see you in the next one.